How about right about now?
Okay.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to Friday. And I have the opportunity and the privilege of having one of our members that I've been wanting to meet for some time. Marsha Price, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, everyone.
There you go, folks. Now you have seen her in person live. Well, in person in a virtual sense. So
Yeah,
good to have you, Marsha. How are you? Heard you
thank
had
you.
some bad weather there last night.
Yeah, I was almost ground zero for a lightning strike. um,
Did
Scared
you get
me
the
and the
charge?
dog. Yeah, I
So it
mean,
hit pretty
I
close, huh?
jolted up out of bed. It was very scary.
Wow.
Wiped out most of my electronics.
That's close. That's
Yeah.
very close. Yeah, someone said the link to the other backup channel isn't working. Yeah, I know. So, but you know who I am, and if anything
Yeah.
should happen, there's always backup. So,
Yeah.
um, well, Marsha, let me just say favor to everybody. Just we speak that over all of us. Nothing missing, nothing broken. If you lay hands on yourself each morning and speak favor to your body, start speaking to your body that there's nothing missing, nothing broken. You have what you say, so you might as well have the best of what you say. Wouldn't you agree with that, Marsha? Yeah,
I do agree.
yeah.
I love the favor invoking that you put out there, and I say it most mornings.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget, but I do use it a lot.
It works. I mean,
It
it's
does. It works.
yeah, one of those things that you just learn. There is uh, a phrase in Spanish that if you ever want to breeze, and I'm just going to tell you right now, this works. Do not say this like three times. Say it just once, three times, because it works. But literally, you can actually call the wind forth, Marsha. You really can.
Yes, I believe that.
Yeah. Anybody want to know what the word is? Huh? 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 Huh?
I do.
Yeah. See,
Me.
it is bars de diablo. Yeah. Let me make sure because I got the book. Yeah, bars de arrow. Bar DARS D hypothesis RORO. Bars DRO.
I'll have to write that down.
It works. And let me tell you the mistake I made. I literally said it the other day three times in a row. Three times three. The wind hasn't stopped blowing.
Did it bring a tornado?
It brought it just brought wind.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. So, well, Marsha, so good to see you. I've seen you for a couple of years. I missed you when you were over on Brian's channel, Milky Way Weekly. And I'm just glad you came on. So welcome.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Well, you have the beautiful Southern drawl. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
Well,
You
thank
know,
you.
the Beach Boys said California girls, they didn't meet the Southern women. So,
No.
uh, you know, that's all I got to say is that the South has some of the most, how should we say, beautiful women I know of. I lived a lot in the South. That's how I know.
I
Well,
hear
more,
that a lot.
well, it's true. And
Well, thank you
it's,
for the compliment.
well, sure. Just send the check, Um,
Yeah. Where do I mail
so
the
you're
check?
a nurse, is that right? You're
I'm
in the
sorry,
medical
what?
field? You're in the medical
Yes, I
field?
am. I'm an immunohistochemist. I've done that for 30 years.
An
I'm telling my age
endochemist.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't.
immunohistochemist. We get all the body parts, run tests on them. It's antibody, antigen, detect cancer. It's a very interesting line of work. When it's chemistry, a lot of chemistry, which is I've always loved mixing potions up. So
I was going to
it's
say chemistry equals alchemy.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know which came first. I've read many different theologies on that.
I've I've heard the alchemy came first.
I happen to think that's true. And if you take, the Abrahamic Judeo-Christian point of view, then it was the fallen angels who brought us alchemy,
Yes.
which, you think about it, if you're talking to a lesser intelligent species, they really probably wouldn't be able to comprehend complex compounds, proteins, etc.
Yeah. And, I never understood why that was such a bad thing for them to teach us all that. I think it was
Hmm.
necessary for them to teach us for us to be able to survive here.
Well, on Monday, I'm going to do part 2 of the Hidden Hands because I've gotten more emails on that. It kind of helps put things into perspective that I had never taken the point of view that, you know, there are those of the star seeds over on the Yahweh side, and then there's thus, you know, the Luciferian side. It kind of makes sense to me. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm very interested in that book.
it's
Thank
one
you
I
for
can't put
sending it.
down. Yeah, I was up early reading it. I get up early anyway. The ISS is going over right now at this early in the morning between 3 and 4:30. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good read. So you've been in the medical field, chemistry, so that gives you a good foundation of understanding how things work. I think that's how life works, is on a chemical basis.
Oh, yes. We
Yeah.
are. I mean, we're kind of chemical beings. We're made up of all the elements of the earth.
Isn't that interesting? Because within our bodies are the 4 elements.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you master
Mm.
your body, then couldn't you say theoretically you would be mastering the elements too?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. I'm liking you. I mean, you can come on anytime you want.
Just as long as I agree.
It's like, oh, this is really cool. Well, but it's true because reality, the Matrix brought it out so well when Neo and Morpheus were having their conversation in the real world. And as Morpheus told the young Neo, he says, but what is reality? Isn't it what we see, taste, feel? 3 chemicals, 2 electrical. That's what the
Yeah.
brain interprets reality.
Yes.
I was astral traveling this morning. I told you right before we went live, I was going to talk about this, that so I'm doing subliminal reprogramming. And the series I'm listening to right now is Enhancing Your Sixth Senses. And it wasn't more than 3 minutes, and I was out, literally out of my body. I was in the presence of something very great. Um, but as I'm out there, I realize that everything I perceive is really enhanced by those 3 chemical impressions and the 2 electrical.
That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, these sessions really work. I'll gift it to anyone who wants it, but it just prepare yourself. So, how do you get to where you are at? You make the rods, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit. But I'm more curious to see, how did your journey come about? Were you always what I would call awake and aware, or was it an awakening process?
It was a process. I'm like everybody else. I did my time with Christianity, the apostolic Pentecostal stuff. And then I went from that to worse. I had to jump into the frying pan of the Hebrew roots, sacred name stuff. I was the worst Torah terrorist, what I call a Torah terrorist, that there was. So, yeah, it was a process. I would say my process started in after 9/11 is when I realized there's something not right about our government. So it started then, but then it was still a long process after that. I started waking up in 2001. I would say the main awakening for me happened in And it's a very strange experience. I don't know how to describe it, but it was the night that Trump was elected.
Oh,
I
oh
just
yeah.
like woke up out of a dead sleep. My ears were ringing. They still ring. They have not stopped ringing since that night. I mean, I haven't had any trauma. I'm told it's a symptom of awakening or ascension.
I did a video. Y'all can go in the archives. It's actually, I did it on November 10th. I told everyone we had shifted dimensions.
Something happened. I mean,
Something did happen. Yeah.
I think I listened to that video.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, but something happened that changed our reality or the frequency. There was a shift of some kind.
It was right after that, Marsha, that I got 2 emails from 2 separate women who wrote me and said, I don't belong here. My husband is not who I married. I don't know who these kids are. The other person got even more intimate, and she said, I had to wait until we became intimate, but she says, I'm telling you that this is not the man. I don't belong here. Now,
Wow.
both of these women were Democrats.
Hmm.
So, and they had listened to me, and they said something happened. And I still contend something happened.
Yeah. It was, I can't explain it, but it's like, I mean, I
So
just
you
can't,
woke
I
up with a
dropped,
ringing in your ear though, right?
yeah. And I can still hear. It's like my sense of hearing was heightened. I swear I could hear the ceiling fan in the next apartment over. um, but yeah, and they still ring, and it was kind of frightening at first. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going deaf, you know. But
The
I've learned
tinnitus
to
is
accept
happening.
it, and I meditate to it. I've got my own frequency. Um,
I hadn't thought about that, but that is kind of cool. You know,
yeah, just put
think
some
about it.
headphones on and listen to my own frequency.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So I'm curious, particularly when you come out of Christianity is one thing in itself, and I've heard of others of Islam and other beliefs, but for myself, it was a horrendous journey to get that out of
Oh yeah,
my
definitely.
consciousness. Did you find the same
Oh
struggle with
yeah.
that?
Yes, it was devastating, traumatic
Yeah.
to leave Christianity and any religion. I mean, it's you are so indoctrinated and brainwashed. I mean, it's in you good. I mean, so
It's still in there. I mean,
yeah, I
I can,
mean, yeah, I
yeah,
find it creeping up sometimes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can quote virtually the whole Bible, but
Oh
uh,
yeah, I know the
yeah,
Bible.
forward,
Like
backwards, inside out, backwards, and then
I'm
inside
telling people,
again.
you really don't want to get into this with me. I can quote scriptures with you all day. I used to be Assembly of God. You know, we had to memorize chapters at a time to get our little merit badges. Yeah, I have a
So,
large portion of it memorized.
were you baptized in the Holy Spirit
Yes, I
with the
was.
speaking of tongues?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. See,
And you know,
folks,
you said this many times, and the speaking in tongues is a very powerful thing.
it is.
Um, it really
Um,
is.
it's not one religion doesn't control that. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a phenomenon that you know why most people don't speak in tongues? Because they're ignorant. And I'm just being candid. They have
Yeah,
been programmed to think that that is Babel. It's
yeah,
not. Two, if you're in a religion, most religions teach against it as it's satanic.
yeah.
And then of the world, well, that makes no sense at all because how can someone speak something they have no understanding about? Well, how do you go to the bathroom? How do you urinate? I want you to tell me specifically how that done. You don't know how it done unless
Mhm.
you have been trained in that area, right?
Yeah, correct.
It's an auto response. And so it's a powerful meditation tool is the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
So you also had, I guess, other gifts of the spirit manifest.
You know, I was really conservative when I was in the Pentecostal religion as well. So, um, very private. I didn't like to do all that in church. While I was at church, I preferred to enter my
Be in your
prayer
closet.
closet. Yes.
Yes, yes. See, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it is entertaining. I tell you, I go back
Oh
in the
yeah.
days with
I
Kenneth
mean,
Hagin.
I learned from that experience. There's
Oh
things
yeah,
that I took from that.
yeah.
It's not all bad, but it
Miracles
is a
happen.
heavy spell that you're under. I mean, hard one to break.
It's definitely, Creedence Clearwater Revival. You put a spell on me.
Yeah. And to give up Jesus was the most difficult thing. And I was like you, I heard you say this other day, I cried like a baby
Yeah.
for months. I mean, I just didn't know what I was going to do. How do I go on living? you know?
It's powerful, and yeah, I still, and Lynn and I had hundreds of people praying for us. They thought for sure, and they still think that somehow the devil came in and has deceived me, and that I am fulfilling the prophecy of the word. And then you get the other extreme where they send to you Second Peter and saying it'd be better for you have never to been born
And
than
you're
to
a
taste of
reprobate.
the exactly, and
Yeah.
that God has seared your soul from Him for all eternity.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been written off by all church
Yeah.
friends. And a lot of family too. They think I'm a witch, which I probably am.
I think you're more of a wizard, but witch is not just a wise
Yeah.
woman.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
offended by that word at all.
I'm not either. Um, my ex-wife just, yeah, she. So anyway, yeah, it's like when it happens, and Trina and I've talked about this before that you can't go back in.
No,
The Matrix in that movie was so true. You can't go back in.
no, no way.
No. Number one, they'll never receive you the same again.
Well, that's good. I don't want to be received again. I'm okay with that.
So how do you see things going on today? I mean, you're obviously very astute, very in tune. What's your kind of pickup on the energy? I mean, it's strange out there.
It's uh it's so strange. I'm not sure how to describe it. I mean, and it's so disturbing that there's so many people that I thought were awake that's buying into all this. Even you would think at this time that Christians would be, oh, this is what we've been waiting for, what we've been expecting, but I don't see that from the Christian crowd. It's like they're buying into it.
Yeah.
And, I don't adhere to the Bible or anything, but there are some secret codes, I believe,
Sure
that
there
are in
is.
the Bible, and I still use it. And the scripture always comes to mind that this world leader that's supposed to come on the scene would deceive the very elect if it were possible. And that's what comes to mind at this time.
The key word on that one, Marsha, is if it was possible, which is
Possible.
saying that it's not possible.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think about that part too. That's why I
Yeah.
included if it were possible.
If it were
And the
possible.
elect is not talking about the church or the Jews. It's not, I think it's talking about people like us. Yeah.
Now they're spinning
You
around on their
and
heads,
me.
saying, "Did you hear what those two said? They're saying they're the elect."
Well, I mean,
Well, I'm your huckleberry. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, I don't adhere to that. There's the elect, there's the chosen ones. I don't believe in all that, but that one particular scripture does come to mind a lot.
And this is just R. Wayne Steiger's take, but the problem I have with these religions, I'm reading the Quran right now.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know how far I'm going to get into it, but it's interesting. But the thing that I find, there's division. There's always division. You divide sapiens up because that's what we are. I said it last night on the Steiger Perspective. We've got to quit calling ourselves humans. We're sapiens. Now we are humanids. That's what we're bipedals.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's the division. And the thing that I like about wizardry and the witchcraft that I am studying, I have not found any divisiveness within what I've read so far.
Yeah.
I mean, weren't we taught you judge things by its fruits, what it produces?
Yes.
Hmm.
If you've ever read the commandments of I think they're called Satanism. Have you ever read that? I mean, it's very peaceful. It's there's nothing, no hatred in it, and
That was one of the things about the
makes a
Satanic
lot of
Bible.
sense.
You know, I actually started doing ritual, what they would call satanic magic, when I was 16. And when you do it on LSD, it's really a trip. But the thing I found, and I had a chance to actually meet Anton LaVey, he was the one who wrote the Satanic Bible. I didn't find this this hatred. And that's just what I would say, what I found from the Jewish and the Christian God, is that God is a God of hate. It poses itself as love, but if I read 1 Corinthians 13:4-8 correct, that would invalidate Yahweh, because Yahweh is not 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. And I happen to think whoever wrote that, whether it was Paul or whoever, they had to be channeling that, Marsha, because that is love.
Yeah.
And I've told this many people this many times. The only one that I have found close, and I don't believe in Lucifer, but if he existed, if that creature, which I think is more androgynous, it would represent 1 Corinthians 13:4-8.
True.
I've never had any accusations by that creature. I've never read any accusations of that doctrine that ever really came against humanity. So, say what?
I don't see the chat, so.
Yeah. Not thoughts, no, kid you, but please tell your guests to get.
What?
Well, she is dressed, I can assure you. It's
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm not. I'm very conservative. Trust me, I'm not going to do a video in the nude. Do I need to lower this? Do I need to lower
this is going to go
iPad?
down in the one in the top 10.
Well, okay.
Well, there we go, Marsha.
I have on a tube top and overalls.
Oh. Okay,
Well,
folks, come on now.
Entertaining.
Darth is saying there is an echo somewhere. Well, it's not on my end. I hear Marsha just fine.
Yeah, I don't hear the echo.
Yeah.
Here,
that was funny.
Let me see if I can adjust this where I can see my clothes. Hold on here.
Well, I read that and I went, "Are you kidding me?" Now that's a classic there, Marsha. That's just a classic. Yeah. So anyway, now that we know that you're not doing this, el natural, people just, I don't really understand. I don't think they understand Pentecostals. I mean, folks, they're the most conservative, bunch you would ever want to meet. I mean, yeah. When I lived with my dad, our next door neighbors, I still remember Big Mama and Boss Hog. Big Mama, she was a big woman, but boy, she was straight Pentecostal. And she had 3 daughters. They never cut their hair. They always wore the dresses down way past the knees. I mean, yeah. And I don't know how they did that in the summertime. How did you women do that? It
was miserable.
I mean, you're sitting in a church that has no air conditioning. Yeah. So, Marsha, lots of talk. Everybody loves these. I got an email from a woman who got some of these. And she said, well, her son immediately came up and said, and he knew about these
Yeah.
and took her to a place where, there's different ways that you can actually put inside of these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do on this? Because by the way, I just want to say I love these. If I
Well,
could,
thank
I'd give
you.
you a big virtual hug. These
Well,
are powerful.
I'm putting crystals that I mine here in Arkansas, the crystal quartz mines, and I put about it's still crystals. It's called Rochelle crystal salts. That is piezoelectricity, which is probably what you're feeling when you pick them up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I've been getting reports from people that I've sent them to. Someone texted me this morning and said he held them for about an hour last night, fell asleep. He slept till about 9 o'clock this morning. He never sleeps that late. And he had all kinds of wild dreams that he remembers. So,
It works.
yeah, I mean, it's tools that help keep the spiritual balanced with the physical. And that's what I'm trying to make. That's what I'm trying to create and provide for everyone.
Darth says, how do you use the rods? I do two ways. Now,
I mean, there's
Lynn,
all kinds of ways you
yeah,
can
there
use
is.
them. You can use them when you meditate.
That's when I do it. I typically try to get in a prone position sometimes and just I just let the energy flow. Lynn, when she picks them up, she immediately begins to feel the energy of her heartbeat.
Me too. It really,
Yeah.
my heart and my head. It's like
Yeah.
something's going shooting out the top of my head or
Yeah.
something.
She
And I used them. I had a migraine headache. I rarely get migraines or headaches, but I had a lingering migraine headache for about 3 days. It was awful, and I slept holding those, and it just went away.
I,
And
I
I,
wonder if they open up, the pineal gland. I mean, it's there is so much
well,
goes on with these.
yeah, the article that one of my group members posted about these, which sparked my interest to I wanted to make my own, because he described in the article how to make these, how you can make them yourself. You could get zinc and copper sheet metal, form them. He was using electrical tape. I'm trying to improve mine, make mine look better. I don't like the electrical tape, and I need to send you a updated version of them, by the way. But
They're
and
far out.
he was talking how you could use these to open up your pineal gland.
See,
So it's
I'm
very
telling you.
interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. I think that's where the sleep comes in because the body is, repairing
Produces
themselves.
melanin.
Yeah,
Your pineal gland produces melanin.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
melanin. What am I trying to think of? Melatonin.
Serotonin? Is it
Yeah, melatonin. Which,
melatonin?
I take melatonin and Ormus together, and boy, it really makes you sleep good. And
Back in
it helps.
1990, I was living in Nashville. Um, there was two women who came out with a book called Eat, Sleep, and Be Sexy.
Mhm.
And they were on the Oprah show. Their point was most people have an imbalance of melatonin already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And now as you're saying this, there has to be something connected to the pineal gland. There has to be.
yeah.
Well, you did a PowerPoint, hon, that
Yeah.
kind of help explain this because I know a lot of people.
I have questions, and
Yes, they
I
do.
may not know the answer, but I will try to find the answer and get back with you.
And this is what I love. Come here now. What am I doing? Here we go. We want to go there, and we want to go here. I'm driving the bus, folks. Just give me a break here.
Oh, let me get my spectacles on.
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about.
I'm
Can you
so
ask your
glad.
guest?
Yeah. I'm shocked
Oh,
myself.
I mean, seriously, that one just came out of like, well, okay. But anyway, here you go. I'll be the page turner. So you tell
Okay.
me when I'm at your
This is
service.
the title page. We're going to talk about Orgone, Orgonite, pyramids, sacred geometry, Piezoelectricity, and the healing wands of Ra. Some people call it the healing wands of Horus, or the ancient Egyptian healing rods. What is Orgone? It's a pseudo-scientific concept variously described as an esoteric energy or hypothetical universal life force, originally proposed in the 1930s by Wilhelm Reich and developed by Reich's student Charles Kelly after Reich's death in 1957. Orgone was conceived as the anti-entropic principle of the universe, a creative substratum and all of nature comparable to Mesmer's animal magnetism, to the odic force of Karl Reichenbach, and to Henry Bergson's Elan Vital. Orgone was seen as a massless, omnipresent substance similar to luminiferous aether. I think I said that right, but
Yep.
more closely associated with living energy than with inert matter. It could allegedly coalesce to create organization on all scales, from the smallest microscopic units called bions in orgone theory to macroscopic structures like organisms, clouds, or even galaxies. The jewelry I make, I don't know if I've sent you a pendant that's, well, you can't see me now, but I'm wearing one of my pendants.
Cool.
And it's orgone because it has, or orgonite, it has crystals, and it's cured in the resin. It has crystals and metal shavings like copper and silver. And then I use shungite on the back, and most of my jewelry and stuff I make, I do use shungite, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And this,
Wow.
let's see, this is, I might have to pull my PowerPoint up. I think
It's
some of
probably,
that
is that too
missing.
small for you to see?
Well, it's not too small. There's part of it. Can you? I don't know.
It won't let me get onto that part
Okay, well,
for some
hold on.
reason. Well, let's see here. Maybe I can
I
do.
can pull mine up and read it from there. What is orgonite? It was invented and developed work by scientists Wilhelm Reich, Don Croft, and Carl Wells. There it is. Positive energy generator. It's made from metals, crystal, and organic formula. A device, when created and curing, creates a piezoelectric effect inside the crystal, polarizing its ends. What does it do? It works continuously, transforms positive ions into negative ions, purifies the atmosphere, detoxifies and charges water, helps plants grow better, stops EMF, ELF, and EMR, dispels negativity, balances your energies, and keeps you grounded, enhances your mood, concentration, and awareness, improves sleep, raises your vibrational frequency, turns negative energy into positive energy. I just think this is interesting. And I've heard you've done videos on sexual energy, but orgone, it's healing sexual energy, the sex boxes that cured cancer. William Wright coined the term orgone, from orgasm and organism, for a biological energy he said he had discovered, which he said others called God. In 1940, he started building orgone accumulators. It's devices that his patients sat inside to harness the reputed health benefits, leading to newspaper stories about sex boxes that cured cancer.
Wow. Far.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Let me see. Is that?
Yeah, I just want to stop here. See, this is, of course, mainstream medical science will poo-poo this, but because there's no money to be made off of it.
Oh yeah, but they're starting to research it now to use in the medical field for healing.
Just like they're doing, tetrahydrochloride.
But the FBI really did a number on William Reich. He was put in prison and died while he was in prison. They burned all his books and destroyed all of these sex boxes. Well, because it really heals people.
Well, think about it. There's a
No
potential
money in
cure.
that.
Exactly. I mean, as I've said many times, Big Pharma is never going to bring out a cure. There's no profit in curing you. There's profit in keeping you maintained. So
Okay,
Sugarite.
well,
Now I have this all over my office.
oh yeah, I love it. I just got a bunch of it in. I'm gonna make some pendants with the shungite. So
And this is what it tells
shungite,
people it is. It's a powerful protective stone, right?
yes, exactly. Um, we don't have to read the whole
Yeah.
thing. I think most people know.
This is the one I want to know about
Yeah.
the piezoelectricity. Did I say that?
I was told
Piezoelectricity?
by I was calling it the same way that you're saying it.
Yeah. Is it
I
piezo?
was told by one of our members and one of your subbers that I was pronouncing it wrong. It's Piezo, like say pie. So, but you say it
Okay.
however you want to. I don't care, and
Yeah.
I'll probably do the same. Doesn't matter to me, you know. I try to make everything fancy, put like a little asterisk over it, so I sound French instead of Southern.
A Southern
But
belle in France.
yeah.
Ooh la la. You have that je ne sais quoi, mademoiselle.
I just pronounce things weird.
No.
So piezoelectricity is also called the piezoelectric effect, is the ability of certain materials to generate an AC alternating current voltage when subjected to mechanical stress or vibration, or to vibrate when subjected to an AC voltage, or both. The most common piezoelectric material is quartz, which is why I use quartz to fill the rods.
Okay.
And you can obtain empty rods and fill them with whatever you want, but I chose to put quartz.
And I like the fact that the body generates an electrical signal.
Yeah.
It does. That's how your heart beats. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for the electricity generating through the muscles, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Right?
We're like walking batteries.
Yeah, we are. I think the archons see that as us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
This is just some of the work that I've done. The Orgone pyramids, aside from being major eye candy, are highly sought after devices known for their ability to convert negative energy into positive energy and balance the spiritual, emotional, and physical body. Think of an Orgone pyramid as a filter for toxic energy in the atmosphere, like positive ions from EMFs. I'm thinking,
I think it's one of
that's
yours.
that one. Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of mine.
One of
It
mine.
is.
Yep. There it is. It works.
I do custom pyramids. The larger ones you see here. Big
Yeah.
Al has me working on. I think a picture of one that I'm working on for him. I'm not finished with it yet. Is on the. He made it for the. What the poster that he made
The
for our
poster.
show.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of his that I'm working on. He has. I think he may have gotten these from Karen, Queen of Quartz.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm preserving those crystals. I'm putting it in, making it into Orgonite by putting it into the pyramids. I really like the
love
way
that
it's
one
turning
with
out.
the planters on either side. That's
Yeah.
huge. How tall is that?
Now that's a tower.
Yeah.
Perry, Big Al's driving partner. Let me clarify that. It's his driving partner. He just bought that one. That's the only one I've made. It's I would say it's about 12 inches or
That is
bigger. I'm
really
not
huge.
sure.
I have one that one of our people made here. And I think this is the one for Lilith. It's quite beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
Isn't this gorgeous? And then he put the sigil in.
Oh, I love that.
And he has the copper quartz at the very top.
Yeah.
You see that?
That is gorgeous.
It's beautiful. And this stands right next to yours. I highly prize this one, and I think Lilith does too.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful, Perry. The one that is just gorgeous. They're all good. And
that mold that I used to make those with the towers. It's kind of difficult to work with. So that is the only one I've made. I have.
How long did it take you to do that?
It took about a week because you have to let each individual layer dry. before you can do another layer. So
Do you
yeah,
have a
and that's in
website?
7. I don't have a website yet. I am on Facebook. I believe on the very last slide, it has the how
Okay.
to get to it. It's
Good, good, good,
Marsha's
good.
Inspirations.
Sacred geometry. Let's
Yeah,
talk about this.
and all the dark ones are shunga. I use, I don't just color my resin. I use crushed crystal quartz, different kinds, like amethyst,
Ooh.
citrine, just all kinds of crushed, because I want it to have real crystals. I don't want it to just be dyed or colored resin. I want it to have crystals and metal in it, so it will be orgonite. But I use the different sacred geometry symbols. I just love the sacred geometry symbols. Sacred geometry unites science and spirituality, self and other, right brain, intuition, and left brain, rational thinking, inner and outer, macro and micro. Sacred geometry is a process of aligning one's heart, mind, and spirit to source. It is the gateway between the etheric and physical realms. Working with sacred geometry is a mirror of the soul. It is fundamental to the evolution of consciousness as well as to the existence of life itself.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful.
there's just some different.
I love the sacred geometry. I mean, the platonic solids are just the Metatron,
Yeah,
cube.
I like the Metatron.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting
Well,
symbol to
it
me.
seems that is what constructs a plane of existence is the cube.
Yes.
You saw the program I did? I mean, it's mind blowing to realize that everything is within the constructs. And of course, Mecca is about the black cube.
Yes.
That's what they go on their pilgrimage to Mecca, is to get next to the black cube and then to be able to actually touch the stone. So there's a lot to. Oh, this is quite beautiful. Look at this.
Yes. The Triskel, I think, is how you pronounce it. That's one of my favorite
Wow.
sacred geometry symbols. I use a lot of these necklaces up here on the far
It's
right.
beautiful, Marsha.
Those are
This
just
speaks to my spirit. You heard that song. It
um,
speaks to my soul.
thank you.
That
Uh,
is quite beautiful.
The Triskel symbol, otherwise known as the Triskelon, is a trilateral symbol consisting of 3 interlocked spirals, widely regarded as one of the oldest Irish symbols in existence. It appears on the Newgrange curbstones, which date from approximately 3200 BC. Triskels feature prominently in both ancient and modern Celtic art, as they evoke the Celtic interpretation of the 3 realms of material existence: earth, water, and sky, and all their interconnections. The symbol is also thought to represent the 3 worlds: spiritual, physical, and celestial.
I just want to comment too. We're going to get more into the Celtic. You can call it magic, you can call it their belief systems, but I don't mean to sound in any way divisive in this, but the Celtic and Druids is really more for the white, where they came into the picture, as opposed to the Kabbalah, Torah, Mesopotamian area, and then of course you have Mesoamerica and then Africa. And I think that's probably
Yeah.
why it speaks. I mean, I had my DNA with my heritage done. This is my
Mhm.
region. This is where my ancestors come from.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And it hit me,
Well,
Marsha, when I went,
you
wow,
need a you need a Triskel.
I think I need a trust. Exactly.
I need to send you a Triskel.
Now we're getting
Okay.
into what we're talking about, the wands of Ra.
Yes, and on the bottom are some of the wands that I have made. Um, and yeah,
Check that out.
I keep improving them too. I now do not put that copper and silver tape. I've learned how to not. I don't need that anymore. But yeah, I'm trying to improve them each time I make some. What are the wands of Ra? In ancient times, the Egyptian priests and pharaohs used healing wands to harmonize human life energy. This is not a coincidence that the wands are the most frequent attribute of statues of ancient Egyptian gods and pharaohs. This fact clearly indicates that these instruments were the subject of the highest importance. Modern medicine has recognized that most of diseases start due to the energy disbalance in the body, yin yang. The cause are stresses, infections, electromagnetic radiation, solar activity, and the other harmful factors. Recreated in accordance with the canon of ancient Egyptian priests, wands of Ra embody the mechanisms of interaction between nature and human. That's why they give you health, active longevity, and are indispensable on the path of self-development. The main objectives of the wand is restoring and maintaining the yin-yang balance, development of internal abilities and deep meditation progress, prevention and correction of various disorders in the body, slowing the aging process in human cells. The Wands of Ra action combines several methods, most of which are already known to modern medicine. Galvanotherapy, influence on the body by weak currents that arise due to the appearance of potential difference of up to 1.5 volts between the copper and zinc cylinders. Magnetotherapy, the use of weak magnetic fields. The Wands of Ra magnetism level is natural and does not exceed the norm for human body that is almost ignored in several medical technologies. Crystal healing, imposing of quartz crystals on the projection of the patient's organs or specific energy centers, chakras. Reflexotherapy, mechanical influence on the body through the singular points and centers. Regular use of the Wands of Ra, using Wands of Ra for self-development, restores the biorhythms of organs and systems, recovers total energy balance of the body, stimulates 6th and 7th energy centers, chakras, which leads to the rising of aura's density. Harmonizes your psycho-emotional state, balances the nervous system, which is essential for entering a deep meditative state and for further development of energy potential. Activates the energy channels, their conductivity, increases sensitivity, consequently improving users' internal abilities several times. Stabilizes the energy potential obtained during meditations and practical exercises. Adjusts the vibration rhythms of your first 3 energy bodies for reaching the synchronization of human energy structure with the energy structure of the earth. Creates multi-level conditions for entering the energy flows of the space, restoring the general bioenergetic rhythm of the individual, which is a key condition for enlightenment. This is a picture of before and after using or holding the wands for 15 minutes.
I can dig this. I mean, this is what I would say it feels like.
Is this one already?
That using the
No.
hands in healing purposes.
Yeah, did I? Oh, I didn't go over this one. Using the wands in healing purposes stimulates your immune, nervous, endocrine systems, normalizes the functioning of the heart in case of arrhythmia and neurosis, hypo and hypertension, improves blood circulation, positively affecting the blood vessels, facilitates the pain in the joints in case of arthritis and arthrosis, improves the absorption of calcium by the body, improves memory and intellectual abilities, eliminates the climacteric complications, lowers blood cholesterol level, normalizes blood sugar level, activates the process of cell division, wands with magnetite and native iron. Might have to make some of those, which is important for the regeneration of cells and rejuvenation of the body.
I'll buy one of those.
Yeah, I wear hematite.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
it's a good metal to wear.
Seriously, I'll buy one of these. That one sounds
Yeah, well,
groovy.
I'm interested in making some of those.
All right. We got to flow.
Conserves internal biological time in the cells, which leads to deceleration of autoimmune processes and slowing aging in general.
Far out.
How to use the healing wands of Ra. To properly use them according to the studies of Tesla and Egyptian theology, one needs only to hold the copper rod in one's right hand and the zinc rod in one's left hand, and place the left foot forward of the right foot and simply stand still. Perhaps close your eyes so as to not focus on anything externally, and likewise standing on the earth barefoot facing the sun is helpful.
I may go out and do that when we get off the air here. It's hotter than Hades out there, but yeah.
Isn't it? And this is That's my Facebook page.
Okay,
where
cool.
I have all my.
You send me the link, and I'll when I repost this, Marsha, we'll put it in
Okay.
there.
I will do that.
Well, this
I
is
meant to do
just,
that actually.
yeah, I wish I had reminded myself. So you can go to facebook.com Orgone Beauty, right? /
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Well, let's see what people are talking about. This was very helpful. I don't know about you, but
Oh,
I found it
my
to be,
overalls up.
huh?
Let me pull my overalls up.
Oh, now this was really cool. I mean, let's see what people have to say. It's going by so quick, I can't read it all.
It's me. Yeah, I can't
Sheesh.
see the.
I mean, seriously, it's just, I guess we were just catching up.
Well, I hope I answered some questions.
If we do not have Facebook, email, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm working on getting a web page going.
All right,
I'll
you guys
keep
out
everybody
there,
posted.
David Barry, others who can help her. Actually, let's get her a website going here. Can't be that hard. And so, because there is a demand for this. I mean, when I mentioned that I had you had sent me these, I know I must have sent you a dozen or more requests of people wanting some of the rods.
Oh yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah, I can see this. Al
Making
says,
rods.
my team driver Perry purchased the pyramid tower. We have lots of Marsha's products in our truck. We're currently in Oklahoma City, ETA Memphis. Well, there you go. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they've helped me deliver. Well, like to Trina, they've delivered some rods to her, so they're very helpful.
You guys are the best, you know.
Yeah.
Big 10-4. Let's see. Can you
I'm
do
gonna.
FaceTime? Someone wants to know. Charlene says, can you do FaceTime? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I can do FaceTime.
Okay. Lost in Space says, yes, I would like to purchase a couple. You know, we could overwhelm you here, Marsha. I mean, this is seriously
Well, I
yeah.
did.
Susie Q goes,
when,
boom, y'all.
when people started showing interest, and it has to be zinc, and zinc is hard to find. Or you can find it, but you have to order like a ton of it from China. And so
And I'm
I
sure you're
bought
going to be
sheet
on the
metal.
DHS, you know, going, what the
Yeah,
hell is she buying all the zinc
I,
for?
I just bought sheet metal, like the person that posted it in my group had instructed us to do, and I took it to a sheet metal shop, and they made me. I have about 100. Well, I probably have 80 now because I have sent out quite a few in the last month. And I recently found a hardware store just right down the road from me that will cut the copper rods for me, and half the price of what I was buying them for. So
Really?
yeah,
Excellent. So you found a local machine shop. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
That
and
actually helps.
it's all coming together.
I tell you, you're onto something here. It's and this is what I love about the community. I mean, listen, just because we're in a depression, and we are, this is the time more of us are going to prosper. Trust me on this. We really are. And if you're particularly into invoking, speaking favor, that works. You're always going to come out the head. You're always going to come out on top. And you're always going to find yourself coming into the best of circumstances. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to do all we can to try to keep the spiritual balanced with the physical. We have a lot thrown at us trying to derail that.
Yeah. I just think this is wonderful. And I know you work on a regular job. I mean, do you have,
Well, I've been off for the last 3 months and just went back to work at the lab that I was working for. I'm just working PRN.
yeah,
I'm kind of trying to retire.
you'll never
um,
retire. I can tell you
no, I
that.
know.
The universe, the infinite one who spoke to me this morning said that it never stops.
No.
We'll never stop. Many
I
of us
mean, the
will.
3 months I was off, I stayed busy making pyramids and these rods. So, I mean, I guess it's not retiring, but
Your house has
I
to be
really,
like, this energy center. You
oh
walk in and you
yes,
go, whoa.
yes, surrounded by crystals
I
and
mean,
shungite. It's
seriously.
just like, and yeah, I mean, I have the advantage of I'm constantly making and working with the crystals and the shungite. So yeah, I'm benefiting from the
Oh, I
energy
can
while I'm
imagine. And
creating
I'm
these.
sure you've got real great thought intent as you're putting these energy sources together.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
good for me.
yes, yeah.
And I appreciate everyone and giving me ideas and allowing me to create for them. It's
This is
awesome.
Groot. I'm just trying to read some of the things. People are digging this. Susie Q said, "Thank you, Marsha." Well, your name, please. I don't know what that is. I often tell people, if you don't believe in the power of crystals, all you have to do is get yourself a lab set up. In this case, you can literally show, and if we put into a simple laser, let me kind of bring that in closer, you can actually see how these crystals are activated. I mean, it never
Yeah.
stops.
They hold memory. They retain memory.
Oh, yeah, they do. Absolutely, they do. Um, Scott Shuthat says, very cool show. Yeah. She is just a jewel. Folks, we've got more people in this community that have, oh, talk about gifts and talent.
Oh, talented.
You know,
Those crystal quartz that Karen Cars,
oh,
oh, they are beautiful.
we just send you good energy, Karen. Find lots of gold, hon.
I have one of Trina's right now. I'm thinking about stealing from her. Her duality crystal.
Well,
She
Trina, it
wants
just
me.
got lost in the mail. What can we say?
She wants me to preserve it in Orgonite because that does intensify the energy of crystals to put it in Orgonite. Um,
Wow, you know
it-
what? I can see right now. Mary Wynn says your tools are beautiful, and they are. They absolutely are.
Thank
Um,
you.
I just want to make sure I can get on the list because from this show here, I've got like 2 or 3 things I want. Like, all right, Marsha,
Just
uh,
send me a list.
send the list. I definitely. What did we call that? The try
Triskel?
the Triskel.
Triskel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to write this down. And
I
what
used to
was
call it the Triscally, but it's I listened to a video pronounce it the other day, so I would pronounce it right. It's Triskel.
and what do you do with the healing? I want the healing run that we talked about. The one
With
um
the magnetite.
yeah. If we can find that, I'll buy it.
And
You just tell
I'll
me how
look at
we
my
get it.
slide. I've got to
Okay.
see what was in it. I
Well, you
mean,
just
I
tell me
have
that
plenty of,
and I'll send you
yeah,
the cash,
we'll
the
get that
money.
going. Send me a list.
Hey, yeah. We don't take bribes here. We just go first to the highest price. No, she
Yeah.
doesn't do that. The one thing I have to say, Marsha, I love about you is that your generosity overwhelms your capacity of, I think, putting things together. That's one of the things I immediately found about you, and that speaks volumes.
Oh, thank you.
She never
That means a
asked for
lot.
a dime, folks. And I said, no, 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 no. Listen, this is powerful, powerful stuff here. And so, and I go by the old adage, labor is worthy of his hire. Oh, hell, where did I hear that before? I can't get the book of Proverbs out of my head. I studied that book for a year. I literally wrote
Yes.
every word in the book of Proverbs. And then I went and did this computer algorithm where it would tell me how many virtues are for a fool and how many virtues are for a wise man. For a fool, there's 114 aspects of a fool. For a wise man, there's 24. Which tells you that a fool, I guess, is either having more fun or, not getting it. Marsha, this hour has gone by like that, girl.
I know.
Will you
It
come back
has.
on?
Sure. I'm getting the hang of this.
Well, yeah, I'd love to have you back on. I'd love to get you on with Trina and I. Would you, have the availability to come on a second look? I think it would be great.
Yes, I
Okay.
should. I am working all this month, but I'm usually available after 9 o'clock in the morning.
We'll book you then. We're going to get you on. I'd like, if not this next week, then the week after, I'd love to have you on with Trina. And then I'd love to get you, Trina, and Julianne Payne together. I mean, holy crapola. Would that be a freaking show? Yeah.
Yeah. I might be intimidated.
Well, no, you hold your own. So I think that would be a fabulous. What do you think, Julianne Payne? What do you think? I think that would be great. We got to get the other people. I see Susie Q. We need to get you on. Lost in Space, Twisted Isby. I mean, come on, folks.
If
Mary
I
wins.
do it, anyway, the rest of you can. I'm extremely shy.
Loretta, all the rest of you, I think we should have, like David is putting, I think he's going to do another video over on Discord and send your pictures in. He did the one on Imagine, and I got to tell you what, it brings tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
Very good editing on that, David. Just absolutely fantastic. So I think that all of you should at least come on here. I mean, Robert V, you need to get you on here. And there's just a beloved abstract. I mean, the rest of y'all, Trina says she's excited about the idea. Okay, well, far out.
Let's do it.
All right. We're gonna, before we hang up, then we'll get something put down here.
Okay.
All right, folks. Thank you for a fabulous hour. Marsha, you are just wonderful. I just gotta tell you, just
thank you. And I'm humbled and honored. Thank you for having me on.
Et moi, yeah, as I said, you have that je ne sais quoi about you. So
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
It means you've got it, baby.
Thank you.
When the girl walks, she's got sparks. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to have to send you a check, Wayne.
Oh, well, it's all from the heart. So everyone have a safe 4th of July over this weekend. And we just thank all of you. You make this community. And Marsha, stay with me on this, and I'll let you take us out.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for having me on, Wayne. And I agree, this is a very talented group or community here.
They are.
Everybody, stay safe. Thank you.
Don't you love her accent? All right. We love y'all. And she is wearing clothes. And this
overalls, Arkansas overalls.
And I got to say, thank you for writing that. I mean, this will go down as one of the more memorable things. I just love it. Thank you.
Remember this video.
All right.
Subscribers.
All right, folks. We will see y'all later on Monday. Be good. All right. Bye-bye. Marsha, stay with me, hon.